Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 6th meeting of the Rochester Planning Commission. And I would like to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Chairman McGee,
Here.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Here.
Secretary Sage,
Here.
Mayor Bixon,
Here.
Commissioners Clark Martin,
Here.
Gasson, King,
Here.
Lord, and Stone.
Here.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. Please join me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. At this point, I usually ask Sienna, but she's not here. Public comment. I'm going to ask the clerk, do you have anyone either in writing or online waiting to make any comments? Doesn't sound like you do. Nick, are you up there?
I am up there, yes.
Okay. I'll pick on you. I don't think we have any public comments, but I'm just going to double check.
We do not have any public comments.
Thank you, sir. Number 4 is approval of minutes. 4A are the consideration of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 21st, 2021. That seems so long ago, October, yeah.
So moved.
Moved by the mayor. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Mr. Sage. Any other discussion? And the roll call, please.
Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Yes.
Secretary Sage,
Yes.
Mayor Bixon,
Yes.
Clark Martin,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item, 4B, is consideration of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 1st, 2021. Do we have any comments, or is there a motion to approve these?
So moved.
Moved by the mayor, seconded by Mr. Stone.
Yes, sir. Support.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Again, the roll call, please.
Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Here. Yes.
Secretary Sage,
Yes.
Mayor Bixon,
Yes.
Clark Martin,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item, number 5, is a public hearing. Public hearing for consideration of a site plan to remodel the existing State Farm Insurance Agency, including the addition of a covered porch located at 415 West University. Mr. John Jackson, I understand you're with us tonight.
That's right. Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commission members. I'm Vidya stand-in for the evening while she enjoys some well-deserved vacation time. So happy to see everyone again. As the chairman mentioned, the Planning Commission has actually seen this project once before at their meeting in November. And since that time, the applicant's been working with the city to resolve the outstanding issues. The proposed use is a mixed use. It has a residential unit located on the second floor with office on the first floor. That use is not being proposed to change, so the only action that's being requested is review and approval of the facade renovation that's being proposed. Some of the issues that had come up at the last meeting had to do with clarifying the access agreement. They share an access drive with the next door neighbor, so they were able to provide a copy of the shared access agreement. The pedestrian access that is existing, which includes the barrier-free access ramp to the front of the office space, is not being proposed to change. That's under the purview of the building official anyway, so we defer to his review and approval on that. The off-street parking is sufficient based on the ordinance requirements. The landscaping, we did have a suggestion, if I may share my screen quickly. Is that okay?
Please do.
Okay.
Got it.
Can you see the plans?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So there's an area on the west side of the facade, if you can see the middle picture, second one down on the right-hand side, on the west side of the building where there's some landscaping that's, that could use some, a little additional, pick-me-up there. So Vidya had recommended that they provide some additional landscaping on the west side of the building to improve the overall appearance of the site. With respect to screening, there's an existing fence that surrounds the property to the adjacent residential properties. So Vidya's conclusion was that that was sufficient. With respect to lighting, they do have an existing floodlight on the west facade. It's going to be removed and replaced with some recessed lights on the garage to provide safety lighting, but not impact the neighbors. The other issue that came up at the last meeting was how they were going to handle trash removal and whether they needed a dumpster. Again, based on the amount of garbage that's generated by the small office use in the one residential unit, that's all going to be curbside pickup, so there's no need for a dumpster on the site. With respect to the architecture, I'll go back to the rendering real quickly here. You can see the front facade is going to have the additional covered porch, and there's going to be some other improvements to the building as well, which I think will be you know, an upgrade to the existing facade. So that's definitely going to be an asset. So based on our review, we're recommending the Planning Commission grant site plan approval for the proposed facade renovation, with the only stipulation being that the applicant consider providing some additional perennial flower plantings along the west foundation of the building.
Thank you,
So with
Mr.
that,
Jackson.
happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the
Mr.
plan?
Chairman, it's Nick. I put on your desk the materials.
Hey,
the
yes,
shingles
I
for the
have
roof
them
and
here.
then the two.
I
You
have,
got them? Okay. Okay.
when Mr. Gerlich gets up, we'll have him explain what these are here. Any questions for the planner? Mr. Gerlich, I think I saw you earlier.
Mr. Garlic.
Yes, I'm here.
Garlic, yes. I have these samples that have been left for us. If you would, John, can you, well, I guess we can leave that up there. Jeff, why don't
want me
you
to stop?
explain what I
can
have?
stop sharing.
There we go. Okay, Jeff,
Yes.
explain what I have here.
I actually don't really know. My architect dropped off some of those
Okay.
samples. I haven't been privy to view them personally.
Okay.
So if you can show me exactly what they are, I can maybe
This is a
walk through a little
shingle,
bit.
asphalt shingle product here. I
Yeah,
assume
on
that's
the-
going on the porch out in front, the cover that you're gonna
No.
construct?
Yeah, on the front porch, I'm gonna have a metal roof on that. And then that's likely, I'm re-shingling the west side of the building. And then on the left side of the front of the building, it's a flat, modified bitumen roof. And that's going to be pitched and it'll have the same shingles that the west side will have.
All right, so we have these metal samples. I assume this is the roof.
Correct.
And
Yep.
this, the bone white, where would this go?
That's what I'm looking as the siding throughout
Okay.
for the whole property.
All right, I'm just gonna pass these around quickly. They're very neutral, quite similar to the colors you have there now, as a matter of fact. Before I open the
Correct,
public
yeah.
hearing, any questions for Mr. Garlick? while we're looking at the samples then, this is scheduled for a public hearing, so I'm gonna open the public hearing at 7:10. Nick, I'm gonna come back to you. Do you have anyone either electronically or, in writing who has, voiced any thoughts about this project?
Nope, we've had it out for the public, and we have had no contact from anybody, even after the notices went out, so we're
Okay.
good to go.
Thank you. And I will note that there are no visitors in the room, so, we have no,
It's too cold.
too cold and too windy. They're staying home tonight, so. So with that, we'll consider the public hearing held, and it is now 7:11, and we will close it. Back to the commissioners. And we've all now had a chance to see the samples. So as the planner recommended, we would be looking for a motion to approve this facade renovation.
So moved.
So moved by the mayor. Would you include the improvement of the west side landscaping, as the planner has suggested?
Yes.
Is there support for that motion? Patty supports that. Any further discussion? Jeff, anything else before I call the roll here?
No, thank you for your time, everybody.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Yes.
Secretary Sage,
Yes.
Mayor Bixson.
Yes.
Commissioners Clark Martin,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Mr. Garlick. Good luck with your project. That's going to be a nice improvement along University Drive.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Number
Merry Christmas
6.
to all of you as well.
Number 6 is consideration of the 2022 regular planning commission meeting schedule. Nick, back to you again, or Blaine, I assume this is
Yep,
just the normal schedule, our normal.
Although, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Nick.
Mr. Chairman, I can take that if you want. So Blaine and I talked this afternoon, and we would like to, there's a scheduled second meeting in March, which would be on St. Patty's Day. Probably not a good idea, knowing you guys, you might not come in the best shape, so we're gonna ask not to have that meeting. You know what I mean? So, we will just have one meeting in March, which will be the 7th. Other than that, we would suggest adopting the proposed Planning Commission 2022 calendar.
So with the calendar you have before you, with the elimination of March 17th.
One comment,
sir.
Just looking ahead on I don't know, my Apple iPhone calendar for what it's worth. It says that on January the 3rd, which we are scheduled to have a meeting, is when New Year's Day is observed in the United States. So is that a federal holiday?
What day, what
It's a
day is
Monday,
that?
January the 3rd, because the holiday itself is on a Saturday.
Probably the extended weekend, and probably people will be off. Should we switch that to Tuesday? Does anyone have a problem with that?
No.
Hi, David.
Mr. Chairman, apologize to you and the commission for being
Glad,
late.
glad you're here. So, Sarah,
I was just gonna point out one other thing, July 5th, a Tuesday. I know a lot of people tend to leave for that week, so I don't know if that's something we wanna consider modifying.
I don't have any problem with those things. It would be convenient, actually.
Agree.
So we'd go then to January 4th. And then, July 4th, so it'd be the 11th then we would meet, the following Monday? Is that correct?
Yes.
That'd be a council meeting, I
We
think.
have a council, yeah.
Okay, so,
I think Sienna already had moved it from the 4th of July, which would have been a Monday, which is a Monday, to the 5th of July, which is a Tuesday. You could move it to Wednesday.
we're trying to avoid the week though, aren't we, Sarah?
It was just a suggestion.
I think a lot of folks do take off. So,
I know I will be gone the week after, but don't let that stop anyone.
There you go.
You could go
but
the
we have a
6th.
council meeting
Wednesday.
anyways. What's that, Nick?
You could go the July 6th, which is Wednesday.
Well, 5th
Or
and
I should think if
sixth
people
is
take the whole week off, I
That's the
wouldn't
same
think.
week.
What do you think, Mr. Mayor? Go to the 6th.
I'm fine with either one. I'm not probably going anywhere.
Is it, you couldn't do June 30th, because there has to be a meeting in July, right?
It should be,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
The other date that Vidya could do would be the 21st of July.
Well, why don't we do that? That would be
Yeah.
our typical second meeting. So what is it, July 5th? We will not do, and it'd be July 21st?
Correct.
All right. So if I have all the changes, from this sheet we have in front of us, it'll be January 4th. We will eliminate March 17th. Excuse me. And then, what is it, July 21st will be the July meeting. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Moved by the mayor, is there support? Support. Christian, I saw you nod, support. Any other discussion? Think we have that down? The roll call, please.
Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Yes.
Secretary Sage,
Yes.
Mayor Bixson,
Yes.
Commissioners Clark Martin,
Yes.
Gasson,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Nick, the next item is discussion regarding the annual planning commission report. Who prepared this report?
Actually, I think it was a combination of Vidya and Tiana. It's a very comprehensive outlining of what we did last year, including the specific site plans and special exceptions. And then at the very end, under the master plan update, it outlines where we're at. We're within the 60-day period for comment. And after that, it would come back to the planning commission, public hearing, then on to city council. I've been working with Mr. Jackson, and within the next week or so, we're going to come up with a schedule and a procedure to go back and re-review quickly the districts that the master plan still calls for, which was the ones that we created years ago. And there's some commissioners that have never seen them, get that back in front of the commission. There's two more that have to go back to city council to be finished. I believe it was the technology district and the parks, the trailways. Want to get that through the city council, then John's going to lay out procedure to get the properties actually, get them adopted, and then work on the zoning ordinance, zoning ordinance to make the classifications match up like our existing zoning ordinance. That would come back through the planning commission again. And we're going to work together and get you a time frame so we can have this whole thing wrapped up. We'd have new districts, new zoning map, and then get them adopted per the state law, and we'd have our new districts. And John had talked about possibly one public meeting that's going to let everybody know that property would be rezoned and take it on that way. So it'll be a process, but we're going to start that here sooner than later. John, if you want to jump in on that.
Any questions
I
for
think you
Nick?
did a good job of summarizing it, Nick. The bottom line is we want to keep the momentum going after the master plan is done, so we don't lose any time on it.
Thank you, Jan. So as the memo states, we're required by the State Enabling Act to make a report annually, and this is the report. Any input on the report for Nick or John? Very thorough, very brief, to the point. If there are none, what we'll need is a motion to accept this and then to pass it on to the city council as required by the act.
So moved.
Moved by the mayor. Do we have support?
Support.
Mr. Stone will go on the record as support.
Support.
Okay. Very good. Any other discussion? The roll call, please.
Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hauser,
Yes.
Secretary Sage,
Yes.
Mayor Bixson,
Yes.
Commissioners Clark Martin,
Yes.
Gasson,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Wow. David, you should have stayed home.
Is that it?
It is about it. We are at item number 8, miscellaneous. Nick, I'll impose upon you. Do you have any updates
Okay.
for us?
I do. So potentially in the report on your agenda, the last page, Deanna had thought it's possible that on the January 3rd meeting, we will be taking on 3 projects, which would be the preserves of Rochester down at the old cement plant on South Street, the carports at Forest Ridge to come back and start the consideration of that site plan formally, and then consideration of some amendments from Pfizer. Once they got into the building plans on the Pfizer approval that was already approved, they've got to make some modifications. It's actually a smaller building. I don't know that any of those are going to make it to the January meeting. I know for a fact the preserves, we got their initial drawings, they're getting the video. They asked that we wait till February to hear those. So that they've done, they went over the meeting. We had that preliminary meeting with Planning Commission. They gave them a very detailed report. They've responded to that, but there's a few more things to work out. So that would be in February. The carports, if they bring their stuff in time, I met with the police chief and I went over and met with Kay and Nathan at the building, made some more suggestions. They're coming back with some substantial upgrades to landscaping for discussion with you all. It might make January if they get it in within the next few days. If not, February. And then same thing with, we're waiting for the revisions to the drawings for Pfizer. If they get in the next few days, we'll get that to video. It should be pretty easy. And then that could be January. If not, all three go to February. We really wouldn't have anything for the January.
Okay,
I guess let you know through an email the next week or so.
we're tuned into that, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. That's it.
David?
Mr. Chairman, is January 3rd recognized as the holiday for the New Year's?
Yeah, we talked about that before you got here. I
Oh,
think we
sorry to
changed
bring
it.
up.
We changed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the change.
We made some other changes on there as well.
Oh.
Trying to avoid the July 5th week. And then, someone thought that none of us could handle March 17th, so we summarily canceled that meeting as well.
Wayne told me to say that.
So in any event, but the changes will be in the final documents you get.
Correct.
Mr. Manager, anything for us?
Just happy holidays.
Thank you very much.
Same for me.
Mr. Chair, I got one thing.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Just to let the council know that on the master plan, the city council did pass, the master plan to start the process, to start the 62-day process.
How did it go? How was the discussion? Pretty supportive?
The discussion was very limited. I think people wanted to look at it more, but they did notice the changes we made. And I think most, the people, my sense of the council was that they're supportive of the changes we made.
Very good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, we are at number 11. Does anyone else have any business for the Planning Commission? It's shocking, but this meeting's adjourned.
All right. Thank you, everybody,
Thanks,
for
John.
coming, yeah. You think your hour,
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great holiday.
I know.